Well, folks, it's time once again to continue reading the Radish apps torn between alphas. I would warn you that this isn't the first video about this story, but honestly, I feel like most people could have skipped half of these chapters and not be confused at all. Chapter 20. Colton now seems to think that now isn't the time to be keeping secrets, and eagerly tells him that he and Xavier don't have a pack, but that the other groups of werewolves know that the girls know about their status as werewolves. However, the second that they try to ask about why the brothers aren't in a pack, they clam up and Xavier quickly tries to get them to shut up. "We didn't save you because we wanted you to live. We didn't know if you informed friends you were coming here, so it wouldn't be a good idea to let you die and have the police would pester us." Because proofreading is for squares. Also, I love how he's only concerned about them being murdered, and not the fact that the two of them are forcing them to not leave the house, which murder is bad, but so is unlawfully imprisoning people inside of your home. And then Callie, already 99 cents short of $1, tells him that nobody knows the specifics of where they are, let alone the fact that they're there to sell Callie's blocked cave. There's an implication that Xavier wants to take Callie now, but then, like everything else in this stupid story, they don't do anything and instead just stand around and say really stupid things. It goes absolutely nowhere, but at this point I don't know what else and I'm expecting, really. Xavier then redirects their dumb argument and says that he's going to take Callie now. She complains that he's made her cry before and he calls her pathetic. Ah yes, that's how you know it's true love, when he says that you're pathetic. Oh, the sarcasm. They continue to bicker and not have fun times, and I'm just so over all of this. Nothing is happening, and there's only so much I can say. Hey, they're fighting over this for the millionth time. Callie then seems to think that if she slaps Xavier, then he'll turn into a werewolf. She says that it happened in Twilight, except that the author clearly hasn't read Twilight in a while. Bold of me to assume that the person who wrote Torn Between Alphas knows how to read. Callie insists to Colton that in Twilight, Bella slapped Jacob and it caused him to turn into a werewolf. False. Bella slapped Jacob because he forced himself on her. The only thing that happened was that Bella broke her hand. Callie then kisses Xavier and randomly says that she feels safe, which... sure, why not? Chapter 21. Callie sits on Xavier's lap and they make out for a while. She eventually asks if they're going to do it fully clothed, and Xavier complains that her constant questions makes the entire thing awkward and he isn't sure that he can do it. Callie complains that it's her first time and she has the right to be nervous, but this only prompts Xavier to complain that she shouldn't have sold herself if she was just going to chicken out. First off, this isn't chickening out. This is asking a legitimate question. Second, Callie did not agree to be held prisoner for over a week and emotionally tortured, so like... And then they start to argue about the entire thing. After a while, Callie asks if he has an anti-baby device, and he asks if she has one. She insists that she doesn't have one because of her status as a blocked cave owner, which... no correlation. Stores don't make you show proof of no blocked cave to buy anti-baby devices. And I know that I keep circling back to that troll from an earlier video, but I can't stop thinking about how she insisted that Callie and Xavier have literally the best romantic romance in the history of relationships. Ah yes, so romantic. Arguing with a man who's been holding you hostage for a week about whose job it is to bring an anti-baby device to the bedroom. Callie asks for him to punish her, but it kind of comes out like a question, and then they argue about that because what else is new? He complains that the blocked cave owners are too stupid and they're all just pillow princesses, my phrase, not the stories, who just lie there and do nothing because no blocked cave owner ever knows how to move in bed. Ever. And then Colton comes in and says that somebody named Lilac will be by later. Callie is surprised that he just barged in and could have caught them in the act, but Xavier calls her out, calling her a coward who wouldn't do anything ever. After Colton leaves, Callie randomly asks if Xavier has ever killed anybody before. Like, I've heard of some bizarre kinks, but I feel like Callie is taking it to the next level. When she asks about who Lilac is, he tells her to mind her business. Honestly, this story would have been so much better if he told her to mind her beeswax. That's the level of maturity that we're dealing with here. Xavier then screams at her to get down and pushes her onto the floor. There's a smash and something goes hurtling through a glass door. The two of them run downstairs and Callie is worried about Lola. And then she realizes that there's a wolf in the room and she wishes that she was back upstairs with Xavier. Highlighted comments. Her character is not well written. She is awkward, impulsive, and brainless. It has dragged on so long. Chapter 22. Kelly seems seemingly hypnotized by the wolf. She eventually asks that if it is Lilac. Colton shows up and jokes that the wolf is going to pay for the broken glass in the door. This leads Kelly to the opinion that if he's joking about it, that he surely must be friends with the wolf, right? Right? Just then Lilac shows up. So who is this wolf? Okay, so I'm a bit startled by the fact that somebody named Lilac is a boy. Why is his name Lilac, you ask? Because his eyes are purple. Which... At this point, at least it's not a main character. Colton and Xavier order Lilac and somebody named Violet to leave. Then Colton changes into a wolf and attacks the other wolf. Xavier tells Kelly to run, and she's so stupid that he literally has to shove her in order to get her moving. She and Lola bolt out the door, and finally Lola has some common sense. She says that she wants to put as much distance between them and that wolf as possible. However, Kelly, sweet, sweet Kelly, who literally does not even have one goddamned IQ point to her name, is worried about getting lost in the woods. However, she is quick to point out that the enemy wolves can sniff them out, and there are clearly a lot more of them than Xavier and Colton can deal with. Literally not much to either of them say anything about getting into a car and going literally anywhere else. As they're going, they run into Lilac and Violet. Violet says something about Kelly being Xavier's pet. And I gotta say, not a huge fan of the creepy twin thing, especially because it's overplayed in a story that is already drowning to death in bad tropes. Lilac wants to go inside in case the brothers are in trouble. Kelly tries to tell him how dangerous it is, but it's Violet who convinces him to stay outside. Kelly randomly mentions that she's never seen Xavier shift into a wolf and she isn't certain that he is or that he can. And then Violet randomly asks that if the only thing that Kelly and Xavier have done is kiss, then Kelly doesn't know how big his Xavier Jr. is. And maybe it's just me, but I've literally never had a female friend ask me how big a boyfriend was. Maybe I'm just keeping the wrong kind of friend, or maybe this author doesn't know how relationships should be. Either way, I feel like not only did this come out of nowhere, but Violet needs to get a massive dose of timing. Now is not the time for this. The twins ask what it is that they're going to do now. Kelly says that she's reluctant to go into the forest despite Lola's constant reassurance that they'll be fine. Says the girl who literally sold her friend into a creepy kidnapper den. No, I will not let this go. So they're randomly walking in the woods, and I have no idea what happened to the creepy twins. Like everything else, they're there one paragraph and completely forgotten about in the next. Colton shows up, and Lola seems certain that he's only there to make sure that they hadn't run off. Although Lola also says that he looks worried, and for some reason Kelly decides that Xavier needs help. Highlighted comment. Anyone else have issues with Kelly running all over when she just sprained her ankle jumping out the window? What's the point of the window scene anyway? Thank you. Honestly, I had kind of forgotten about it, mainly because the author herself forgot about it in the same chapter that she wrote that scene. So before I could even start reading this chapter, the app literally demanded that I update. Not gently reminded me or politely asked me to update, it told me update and gave me zero choice in this. Probably a good thing that I'm using the phone emulator instead of my actual phone, but sure. Chapter 23. Kelly runs back into the house with Lola huffing and puffing behind her. However, at the house, Kelly is upset when she can't find either of the brothers. Lola literally has to remind her of the fight that happened, between Xavier and the other werewolf. The reason why Kelly ran up to the house so quickly. That fight, the one that happened not even 5 minutes earlier. However, that is not the part that Lola is upset about. She's upset because Kelly didn't take the opportunity to run away and instead literally ran back to their captors. And I'm confused here because not even a chapter ago, Lola was dead set on them even trying to run away because the wolves would be able to sniff them out quickly. But now she's chiding Kelly for not trying to run away? These girls are doing so many 180 flips that I'm getting dizzy. They go inside, and despite the fact that Kelly rushed up there because she had a weird feeling that Xavier was in trouble, she's somehow still surprised and shocked to see blood everywhere. Colton shows up again, completely naked, and that's also somehow shocking to Callie. He says that Xavier is hurt, but Callie says that she already knew that. This makes Lola question how Callie knew that, although I'm going to say that it's her magical Mary Sue plot-driven guessing powers because there's literally no other explanation. Kelly is upset when she sees that Xavier is in the bathroom, propped up against the side of the tub. Colton says that his brother was hurt, so he brought them in there, but I'm really on Callie's side here. This man needs serious medical attention, and Colton literally just chucked him into the bathroom and said, "Well, guess my job here is done. Kelly instantly starts jumping into nursemaid mode, and could this story possibly get any worse? It's bad enough with the terrible start, the messages about selling your body online to strangers, the brothers forcing Callie not to leave the house, and Callie's mental break. But can we not have a female fussing over a male who has literally held her prisoner for a week and emotionally tortured her? Lola points out that Callie doesn't like blood, which is a legitimate thing to worry about in a situation like this. However, Callie is of the opinion that she'll get over it. She then asks Xavier if he thinks that the other wolf had rabies, which, I mean, what else would you ask in a situation like that? Normal people don't break into other people's homes and attack them. And then, okay, so you know that scene from Beauty and the Beast where Belle tries to run away and almost gets attacked by wolves, but then the Beast saves her and he gets hurt in the process, so Belle takes care of him even though she's still afraid of him and even though he's still insanely rude to her? Yeah, that scene. The author tries to do that, but without any of the character development Disney had written. And the problem with this is that, I literally don't care about these characters. They're whiny, annoying brats, and I can't say that I want to be cheering on the next wolf to show up to rip out Xavier's throat. Sorry, not sorry. Somebody had to say it. All I'm saying is that at least Disney didn't make the audience want to cheer for the wolves in that scene. And because everybody here has emotional maturity of a 12-year-old, every single person can't help but turn the entire thing into a weird innuendo, like Colton implying that Callie said bondage and when she was asking for more bandages. I am so done with this nonsense. Anyway, I keep telling myself that I should work on this, and then I don't. One of these days I will actually finish this nonsense. Eventually. Until the next time that I summon up the emotional energy to read the same nonsense for 4 more chapters in a row, then I guess.